And Kurt Pearson from Compass Financial joins us this morning.
All right, and Kurt, we understand you just got back from an investment conference. Wondering if there was a buzz going on there, and if you're hearing a lot of people discussing the fact of inflation, whether that's really going to be an issue for the upcoming economy or not.
Well, these conferences are a little bit like the financial media, where you can hear an economist one minute who thinks things are just really bright and cheery, and the next minute an economist can come on and thinks, you know, we're all going down the tube. So you have to kind of sift it and sort it. The inflation issue, though, is a theme that keeps coming up, and economists keep going back and forth on how that is going to shake out in the economy. Just common sense would tell us, however, as I sort out all the messages, that we have to get all of our peers back to work before inflation is really going to be an issue. Every time you look at inflation in the U.S. economy, it's happened because wages have begun to spiral higher, as well as goods and services. And so with so many people out of work, we don't have the wage component that can contribute to the inflation. So I think it's going to be pretty tame for the near future until we get a lot of our workers back in the workforce.
Now, most people believe the Federal Reserve will begin to raise interest rates. Can you create a timeline for us on that?
Well, yeah, and economists, again, are going back and forth on the timeline. Actually, the Fed has already made some moves behind the scenes, shall we say. They are much less active right now in the auction markets, which means they are basically saying, hey, we are going to start heading down a path of tightening the money supply just a little bit. They also raised, I believe it was about 2-3 weeks ago, they raised the rate that banks use to loan money to each other. And so those are signs that a retail interest rate increase could be coming sometime in the near future. Now, they juxtapose that with a statement that says, hey, we think it's going to be a little while before we raise rates. So everyone's trying to figure out the Fed, but I think they're on a path to beginning that process.
What about Greece? I know recently Greece has been making headlines for their financial struggles. How real are those struggles, and what are they doing about it?
Well, they came out, when was it, early this week with an austerity plan, basically a cost-cutting plan. And isn't it interesting what we talked about, I believe, last month, where you can't build financial security on borrowed money. That's what they have done for years, and it's coming back to bite them. It's a very good lesson for us with our national debt at about $13 trillion right now, and a high percentage of GDP, highest that it's been. Boy, we need to learn some lessons. We need to tighten the belt a bit and really cut our spending here in this country so that we don't end up in the same situation. Greece is very excited. They came out with a bond auction yesterday. There was a strong demand for their bonds. But once again, what is a bond? It's basically them borrowing money. So the verdict is out on that country. What they're really trying to do, though, is contain it so that it doesn't spread to other countries, and we have the systemic risk that we felt a year ago with some of the banking institutions in our own country.
All right. Kurt Pearson, thanks for joining us. Can't wait to talk to you next month as the tax deadline looms. If people want more information, Kurt, where can they find you?
Our local number is 327-1020 or CompassIowa.com.